So I changed a little bit in the damage simulation, but still I don't think it is going to get converged. So what I did was, it is taking too much time and computer resources. So what I have done to avoid the damage calculation and the whole specimen, I have specified damage only in this part, which is at the center. So this part I have not, so I've removed damage from this one, and only damage calculation happens in this area, in this volume. Apart from that, in the load, I have applied, so the boundary condition which was applied to have displacement. So, instead of 4 millimeter in the upward direction, everything else I have made 0. So no rotation, no movement in the x1 and y1 direction, apart from the movement in the z direction. So although I stopped the rotation in the last model, it didn't stop the rotation. But if I have stopped the U1 and U2 on the face where I have applied the displacement, so that appears to stop the rotation. So it looks like the upper face where we applied this displacement was also having some displacement in the X and Y plane. And because of that, there was this rotation probably. So we need to discuss, we need to understand more about that. So, but now this problem will not happen if I fix the U1 and U2 displacements on the above plane. So these are the changes which I have done, and still I think it is taking too much time. And the error, the warning which it shows is that plasticity calculation. So the strain, the plastic strain is too high. So it is very high in some of the elements, and some of the elements of ours are actually very large. Oh, also I have changed the mesh size so that I have less number of elements, so that it doesn't take too much, it doesn't jam the computer. So I have decreased the element size. And plasticity calculation, although we have given incremental plasticity, but what might be the problem in incremental plasticity also, as I have discussed before, is that if you go to the plastic domain, the after 0.22 amount of plastic strain, so this is my last point, right? And after this last point, what happens? If the stress goes or the strain goes beyond 0.226, what happens after that? Abaqus will take ideal plasticity beyond this point. So it will, so that problem will be causing a convergence issue. Okay. So we can have a look, and I can solve this problem of non-convergence. So let us look at the results. These are the results. So here, if you see, I have to make it opposite. Yeah. So if you see here, if I do the simulation, there is no rotation now. So you see this thing is not rotating. So rotation problem is not happening anymore. And here you have plastic equivalent. So PEEQ is actually equivalent plastic strain. And as soon as equivalent plastic strain is higher than the amount which we described was 0.03. So if we go back, so here the plastic strain is less than the damage initiation point. So if I look at SDEG, the value is 0. Blue means 0, so everything is 0. So it is completely 0. So there is no damage. But as soon as I go higher, oh, why don't I have damage? So damage starts now. So probably the damage is too low, and the equivalent plastic strain has just crossed the initiation point, what we have described, right? But then we also have the equivalent plastic strain rate. So this is why it is a little higher So the damage initiates, but the damage initiates and initial damage evolution is not so high. So as soon as it crosses 0.3, you might not see any damage. So just in this frame, you don't see any damage here, nothing here. And then you go 2 frames more, and here the plastic strain, if you look at, is 0.035. So 0.05 higher than the initiation point, and then you start seeing damage, but very small value. Okay, and then you have, and now you see, because of damage, you also have nicking in the simulation. If you don't put damage, this material will never neck. It will keep on elongating as long as you apply the displacement. But now, because of damage, it is neck, and further damage will happen here because the stress will be higher here. And it has reached, I don't think it has, maybe it has reached somewhere 0.83. Yeah, here at the center, it has reached 0.83. And our maximum damage was 0.9. So it needs a little more, and then it will fail. So I can ask him to show location where. So here is the maximum value. You see, it is exactly at the center node where maximum degradation has happened. And you know the reason, because it is at the center, it has highest amount of constraint here. Okay. So hopefully, yeah, it has failed. Just a second. Hello. Show me my class now. 12 baje khana maine. So you see, as soon as it reaches 0.9 in the integration point, so the value which you see are at the nodes, okay? And node values are interpolated from the Gaussian points, which we have discussed. So the value might be a little higher here, and at that might have gone beyond the value of 0.9. As soon as it reached 0.9 higher than that, the element will be deleted. So it happens instantly in the 4 elements, and these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements are deleted, and this keeps on deleting the element. Okay, so this simulates that in the tensile specimen you have a crack which starts from the center. If everything is ideal, that means material is homogeneous, you don't have a heterogeneous distribution of inclusion, let's say, or carbides or oxides or some manufacturing defects. If that doesn't happen, you should have damage exactly at the center. And I think it has aborted now because of the plasticity issue, plasticity calculation. Okay, so there are too many things happening, with damage simulation so far is successful. And let us look at the stresses. So I want to see S22. S-mesus should also give me good values, but just before damage, it is going how much? It is going not very high. It is going only 490. So it is, but plastic strain, how much is the plastic strain? So plastic equivalent plastic strain is PEQ, and that is going to a value of 0.1. So in the property, we have described the plastic strain values 0.22. So that means it is still in this domain. In the tabular format we have provided. And here, even though it is here somewhere, so let us have a look at the plastic strain in the Z direction will be this one. So at the end, it goes to 0.14. Still remains in the range of what we have described, but this is causing problem in the plastic calculation. So that might be because of the larger element sizes we have. We can investigate that further by looking at where exactly that problem is happening, so that we can see here. And inactive degree of freedom, I don't want to see. I want to see where plasticity is creating problem. So that maybe is described somewhere. So has it made any notes? No. Where plasticity calculations will not attempt plasticity calculation 532 points, but it is not making any set which describes that here plasticity calculation will not happen. So the strain increment is delta PEEQ, and that has exceeded 50 times the strain to cause the first yield. And that is too much plasticity. So maybe we need to do a lot about this, because if you have large strain, too much plasticity, maybe we need to go to non-linear strain calculation. So finite strain, we might have to do that, but those things are not required at this point in time. So if you look at the results, this is our tensile specimen from the beginning. This is how it looks like. And when we do the simulations, I have to do it a little slower. So you see that. So let us go frame by frame. So you see now necking has happened. You see this has got tapered. So necking is happening because of the damage, and then you will see that the elements will get deleted. So these are getting deleted, and further. And if I apply, if somehow the model converges and doesn't abort, this whole layer will fail. And once this whole layer fails, I mean all the elements are deleted, then this tensile specimen will become free because the elements which are connected. So that means tensile specimen has broken into two parts. So that also you can simulate if the convergence issue is not there. So that is that. Any question related to this so far? Anyone? No? Okay. So we have some time, and I want to start the fracture specimen in a very basic way, and we will apply damage there, and we will continue that on Friday also. So before I forget, what you can do is, so this damage of tensile specimen, so 3D tensile specimen and fracture specimen, that you can count as one experiment. Okay, so the focus here is on damage, how damage is happening, what I have described to you about the stiffness degradation, how do we apply the damage initiation and damage evaluation, and all those things you have to write in the procedure or post-processing part, and then geometry, so experiment. So you can write that you did two experiments, one on tensile specimen, one on fracture specimen, and you can write about the post-processing solver. You don't have to write about, and then you can write about, sorry, pre-processing and post-processing we have not done yet. So when we will do, then it will be a complete experiment on damage. Although there are two things we are modeling, but you can take it as one experiment. And what you can do is you can submit the report for this tensile and fracture, and also whatever experiment we do later on. So you can submit it at the end. So when we have mid-semester viva there, so on that day you can take that much time and you can submit all the reports at the end. And so you can do it early, you can do whenever you want to do. And then so after mid-semester, then I will check all the reports, and the marks I will give you together for everything. Okay, I hope everything is clear. Yeah, Suraj?
we have to submit the fracture and this one
So the
report
experiment name will be damage modeling.
damage. Yeah.
Okay.
So
And in damage modeling, you will write two testing you have done. So one is on, so two modeling, one is on tensile 3D and one is on fracture, which I will try to do. You don't have much time. So these two you will be writing. So what you will write introduction, what is damage, the theory part of it. And then in the methodology, you can write how did you apply damage and what are the, so damage initiation criteria, evaluation criteria, how did you apply that? And so pre-processing part will be that. So you can either write as pre-processing or you can write as methodology, how did you apply it? Right? And then post-processing part we have not done yet. So when we do it, then it will be complete, and then you will write about post-processing. Basically, post-processing for tensile specimen will be simply stress strain curve, and stress strain curve should match the experiment. Okay. So at the end, what we will do is I will take one literature data, the full stress strain curve, which goes till end. We can only provide the, so we will see how we do it. How do we actually put the whole stress strain data in the model and then damage, and then after damage, we take the results and then put it back on the experimental stress strain diagram and see whether it matches or not. If it doesn't match, then we have to tweak some parameters in the damage so that the post UTS curve will match perfectly or more or less perfectly with the experimental data. Suraj, clear?
yes,
Okay.
one we
Yeah.
have done 3D tensile also. So that is
Yeah, those. Yeah, you finish your question. Your 3D tensile also then?
it is different from this one. Yeah, 3D tensile that was rotating like we
Yeah.
described Friday.
Yeah.
That is different from this tensile damage. Yeah.
Yeah.
ओके सर सर एक्चुअली वो रोटेट कर रहा था उसकी डाटा हमने निकाले नहीं अभी तो
उसका पोस्ट प्रोसेसिंग नहीं किया ना?
यस
ओके.
सर
So uska rotation will stop if you put u1 u2 is equal to 0, and then we can take stress strain behavior of that, and you can put it in the results if you match it with the previous data. So that report also you will be submitting at the end.
यस सर वो कब सबमिट
एंड मतलब अभी हमारे पास 2 वीक है अप्रोक्सीमेटली. Just okay. So we have today is 8th, so I think approximately on 29th March we will have our Viva. So on 29th you should submit all the reports. All the reports meaning you have to submit the 3D tensile report and on damage. So 2 reports.
ओके सर एंड ऑल लाइक पहले वाली 3 आज सबमिट करनी है
हाँ, पहले वाली 3 के तो आज है डेडलाइन.
ओके सर
ठीक है. और कोई इशू?
नो सर
So now let us go to modeling fracture. We will do it a little faster because it is known. So let us open a new one, or actually not, because damage is already defined here. So I save as 3D tensile damage, and now save it as 3D tensile, not tensile, 3D fracture. Okay. So what will change if we do fracture modeling is that we cannot use plane stress elements. Well, it is 3D, so anyways we are not using plane stress or plane strain. So I will delete this part, and because of this a lot of problem might appear, but what to do? So now let us model fractured specimen. So in fractured specimen, there are different types of specimen. We will be modeling CT specimen. I hope you know what CT specimen is. You have seen we have discussed this kind of specimen in MM 302. So once I make one, you will realize what we are making. So I'm not going to define exact geometry, but I will be close to the exact geometry, but the dimensions might change. So you have to follow ASTM standard in order to give the proper dimension to the specimen. So basically, I'm modeling half of the whole specimen geometry. So usually it is defined in terms of the thickness of the specimen. So let us say that my specimen is 10 millimeters thick. If it is 10 millimeters thick, the width of the specimen should be 20 millimeters. So which is called W. So W is 20 millimeter. And now let us have a look at ASTM. I should have ASTM somewhere, but ASTM 1820 192. So I think it should be. It is not going to compass. That means compass. That means we have lost our subscription. So let me search for E1921. Okay. Open. Okay. So we are going to model one of these geometries. So we will model the simple one, and half of it we will model. So you see that W is the width of the specimen here, and this W is still here. So our W is 20 millimeters, and initial crack length will be 10 millimeters. So 20 minus 10 is 10. So the initial ligament length will be 10 millimeters. So let us do that. Okay. So this somewhere here. So this total length was how much? Total length is 1.25 W. So 1.25 and W is 20. So 25. So this should be 25. So this is 25. And this is, so this was 1.25. This should be 1.2 W. So 1.2 W is 24. Half of that will be 12. So this is 12. And this is our geometry where I have to make a thickness of 10 millimeters. Everything else remains same. So let us do that. And depth is 10 millimeters. But here again, I can apply a symmetry. You will see what kind of symmetry we're talking about. So instead of modeling the whole thickness, I'll model only half of it. So instead of 10 millimeters, I'll model 5 millimeters. And this is the rectangular block. In this, I have to create a hole. I have to create a hole like this. And this hole is at a distance of W from the back side. So W is 20 millimeters. So it is at a distance of 20 millimeters from the back side. And how high it is? From the center, it is 0.275 W. From center, it is 0.275 W up. So 0.275 into 20 is 5.5 millimeters up with a diameter of 0.25 W. So this center is actually 0.275 W. So let us fix the center and then we will calculate the diameter and do it. So to make the hole, I want to get a point. So I will partition it and I will partition it. I'll make holes. I have to cut and extrude. So create, cut and extrude, select the plane and an axis which is right side. So this is how it is. And imagine this to be the right hand side point to be the back side. So from here I have to go W distance. So let us take a point somewhere and define that this point from the back side is at a distance of W, which is 20. And how high it is, 0.2275 W is 5.5. So this should be 5.5 millimeters higher than this point. So 5.5. So this is the center of the hole. And then what is the diameter of the hole is 0.25 W. So 0.25 W is 5 millimeters the diameter. So the radius 2.5. So I'll make a circle here, which is like this. And the radius of this is 2.5. And I want to extrude this thing. So I want to extrude and remove this thing from the body. So yeah. So through all means, from the whole section, it will remove this circle. So I do okay, and then I have made the hole. It looks linear because the graphics is like that. You can actually change the graphics to fine and you will see a perfect hole here. But that is unnecessary. Now, so you see this model, yeah, and this model, a crack starts actually from a distance of 10 millimeters. So A is usually equal to the thickness, which is B. B is half of W. W we have taken 20. So thickness is 10. So initial crack length is 10. If this is 10, this is also 10 because total is W. Okay. So from the back side, I have to give, so I have to give 10 millimeter distance, which is connected from the lower part. So I'm modeling only half of it. How do I show it here? So you see, I'm modeling only half of it like this. Okay. Half of it, and also in the thickness direction, I'm modeling half. You understand? So I'm applying two different types of symmetries. Okay, so let us do that. And in order to have a crack, I want to have a finer mesh at the crack where the crack tip will be, and I want also it to propagate with damage. So we should have finer mesh there, but we don't need finer mesh here. So I will partition it in areas where we need small meshes and where we don't need small meshes. So let me draw a line here, and let us see how much is the distance from that side. This distance is 13. So my distance of crack tip is 10 millimeter. So I will keep it, let's say 12 millimeters. And then I want a point which is 2 millimeters away from this one. Go down. So 2 millimeter. So from here, this point to this point, the distance is 10 millimeter. Okay. So here is the here will be my crack tip. Okay. And I should identify this crack tip also in the thickness direction. So let me also divide it in smaller pieces. So let me draw a box here like this. And if this is 2 millimeters, and this should also be 2 millimeters. And this can also be 2 millimeters. And I think it should be it, or I should partition it. So let me partition it like this. Why it is not getting horizontal? So yeah. So let me partition it like this. Also let me partition it like that. Okay, all done. So this is just on the face. I have to make it also in the whole body. So this part you have seen, we partition it through the cell by extruding the edges which we have made by partitioning the face. Okay, so select one or more edges. The problem is you can choose connected edges, but you cannot choose what do you call it? branching edges for partitioning. That's just a algorithm issue. And I don't think it should be close also, but let us see, sweep along edge. And I want along the thickness direction, so I'll take that edge. Yeah, okay, so this is not happening because of connections. I'll just take these three first and sweep along edge. Taking this edge, create partition. So this partition is done. You will see it. So I have selected this one and this one. So you will see it on the other side. You see this? On the other side, it is also there. So similarly, I have to make this one and this one and this one and sweep along the edge. Take this edge, create partition. So I have that part there. Then I just need this one edge more. So why it is not selecting? So I need this edge. It's not selecting. I need this edge. Oh, cell. Okay, yeah. And then this edge, and then the direction of extrusion is this one. This one. Create partition. So now everything is on both sides. And if you want to see, it is actually empty. I mean, the whole thing is on all the sides. So you can see it like this. So it is completely divided, the whole volume. So partitioning is done. And I have to partition one more at 2 millimeters away because that is where the crack tip will be. So I need to, oh, for that I will have to do the partitioning in a little complicated. So let us edit this part because I want crack tip to be here. So let us make the whole thing like this. And done. Okay, regenerate, keep changes, and then extrude this one. So this line and this line, I want to extrude, sweep along edge. This one, oh, the whole 3D partitioning is gone. So let me do it again. So this one, done, sweep along edge. Oh, and this one. So we have, I think this one will be remaining. So take this, done. You can actually do it by coding. That is very simple, but so I think one thing is left, which is this cell done. This part we have, no? We don't have. Take this one, done, sweep along edge. And then this one, done. This line, done, sweep along edge. This line, create partition. So I think everything is done. Okay, good. So we are good with the part. We go to the property. We already have material. So this material copy one has damage in it. So I will rename it to material damage. And the first part is the same material, same elastic plastic, but there is no damage. Okay. So because it will save our lives if we don't do calculation of damage in all the elements. We know that damage will be happening only along the crack tip. So we don't want to have it everywhere unnecessary. So so this is why I have divided. I have made two different materials. One has damage in it. One doesn't have damage in it. And I have made two sections also. Will have damage, another section will not have damage. It simply means section has material 1 associated with it, material damage associated with it. Okay. Now I have this part and this part and this part. Yeah, Bala?
Sir.
Say it again.
Sir, it's not clear.
What I'm saying, is it clear to
No, sir.
think
There
No,
is some
sir,
internet.
not clear. Yours and Balas is also not clear, sir.
Yeah, Bala was not clear. This is why my voice is clear now or not?
It's breaking, sir.
It's breaking. Why is it breaking? Do have you got internet connection? And maybe the video direction required. So here I don't want to happen in the video. So I will put section 1 which doesn't have damage, and I want to add this part to have damage in it, like damage there. Now material part is done. Assembly and this depends on step and I will just change it to non-linear geometry, and then here we have a lot of things. Here we have to do a lot of things. Okay, so fine. And loading so let us do it fast. So let us. Is it coming or it is still breaking?
Sir,
Breaking.
not at all audible, sir.
Not at all audible. Suraj,
Yes, sir.
audible or not?
सर
Sir,
अभी
fully breaking, sir.
पहले बोल रहे थे clear।
हाँ?
अभी आप पूछ रहे हो तब क्लियर आ रही है, पहले आप जब कुछ बता रहे थे तब नहीं आ रही थी।
अभी आ रही है?
नहीं सर, अभी भी ब्रेक कर रही है।
अच्छा। So, is it possible to have something here? No. Yeah, I think it was there somewhere. Anyways, so full screen captions. So I can put caption on, and so turn off caption. Is caption coming? Anyways, so I will put narration. Don't worry about it. So we go to assembly, and here
Now it's clear, sir.
now it's clear. Okay. So where is my model? Why it's not here? So I have this part. Oh, in assembly I have to call it. I called it. Okay. And then I go to the load. So before load, I go to interaction. And why? Because there is a little complication here. So you see, this is the part which will remain fixed, right? And in this hole, you put a pin inside it, and then you pull the pin in the machine. And this is how the load is applied. But we can model that pin and everything, but that will require contact between the pin and this face. And contact mechanics and algorithm and FEM of contact is completely different. Instead of that, what I will do is I will create a reference point at the center here, and I will attach it to the surface. So I will create a kinematic coupling, and I will make this point as the control point, and I'll make this surface as the surface which is coupled with the reference point, meaning that whatever happens to this reference point will be distributed on that surface. But there is some issue with the rotation. So you can imagine that there are different rods which are connected with this point to the surface of the hole. And as this point moves, if this point rotates, for instance, so this will also put a rotation on the surface. So that we don't want. But for that, you can do a lot of different things. But let us stick with this. So I have coupled this reference point with the surface, and I will apply displacement on this reference point, and that should pass on to the surface. Okay, so let us go to the loading, and here I want Z symmetry. Yeah, I want Z symmetry, but I also want Y symmetry. So on crack plane, which is this one, there is a part which is exactly mirror image of what I have modeled on the lower side of it, right? So I will apply Y symmetry on that. So I will select in the viewport this part, and this part should have Y symmetry. And I hope you understand. So basically what is happening is ZY is this one. So if you look, it is like this, yeah? So there is a lower part below this. So that means Y symmetry. And then there is a part, you can imagine it here. So the lower part is here, okay, which I have not modeled. So I have to apply Y symmetry on this part, okay? And then I'm also modeling half of the model in the thickness direction. So I have to apply another symmetry along the thickness direction also, okay? So one symmetry I have applied on the crack plane. Now I will be applying another symmetry on this face, because my reference point will be then at the center. If I apply it on this face, the reference point is there. Okay, so I will apply here the symmetry in the thickness direction, which is Z direction. So let me create thickness symmetry. So that will be symmetry on the C axis. I'll select all the faces here and I'll apply C symmetry there. And that is done. And Y symmetry is done. So crack is defined and this is defined. And then I want to have displacement on this thing. And this is this. So here I will define. So now I don't want to suppress rotation and all. So I just want to apply a displacement above on this point. So I take, this is the point where I want to define. And I think 4 millimeters will be too much, but fine. 4 millimeters. So displacement has been described on this one. Boundary conditions are done. Okay, damage has been defined in the material property. Everything looks good. I just have to mesh it. Go to mesh. And then, yeah, for simplicity, let's define global. No, that will be too much. So let us define local here and here, and not very fine. 1 mm is actually too much, but because I don't want the computer to take all the resources, so I'm giving it a very coarse mesh. So actually, if I do this, then my specimen will fail like anything. It will just vanish. So here I will define, let's say 0.5. Also not too much, but let me make this also 0.5. And this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Done. 0.5. And here I don't want. So global seed I have to decrease 5 millimeters, too much. Let us put 1.5 and measure. So okay, and I want to see if everything here. So basically I define damage in these boxes. So I will take these and everything is there. And element deletion, yes. Maximum degradation 0.9 and everything else is okay. And rest of the part I don't want damage, so there is nothing to be defined here. So everything is good. Let us now create a job. CT specimen it is called. So I will name it half CT damage. And let us see what happens. Submit. So I'm sure you will have a lot of questions, and you probably have not understood because there was no sound also sometime. So dwell on it, have a look when you get time on the recorded video, and keep notes of all the questions you have, and we will deal with all those questions on Friday one by one. So Friday I will not do anything new. We will deal with this model and the 3D damage model. Okay, so have a look at it, try to model this specimen. With coarse mesh is fine, and see if you can get the results. If there is any problem, of course we will see job has completed. So I'm sure if job is so smooth, there is something wrong, or maybe our elements were too big. So let us have a look at the results, and we see a weirdity. Okay. So this is specimen. Oh, I applied displacement in the wrong direction. That's why it was so smooth. Doing wrong things are so smooth. So I have to apply displacement in Y direction, not in Z direction. Y direction 4 millimeter should go up like that. And now it will be not so fast and not so smooth. So let us have a look. Okay, so whatever happens to the result of it, we will continue with this one on Friday, and you don't have to submit anything. Next week, you should submit all the reports. You should write it, of course, but you can submit it when we have our Viva. So approximately on 29th of March. Okay. If there is any doubt, you can ask at different platforms. Yeah, so now it is taking too much time, meaning that we are probably doing right things. If a model is very smooth, then we have issues. So you see, this is the line where crack is. So that is the point which is connected, and before the points are free. So if we have a look at damage, got stuck. Yeah, now Abacus either will crash or it will take a lot of time. I think it crashed. Yeah, I think it has. So see, this is a model where this is how the meshing should be. The meshing is actually very fine. This is also a half CT model, and you see the elements is 0.1 cross 0.1, but this is only a 2D model. Okay, so if you want to see the results, not symbol. This is a different model on the same geometry, so it's a fracture thing. And if you want to see the stresses, you will see. So it looks like this. There is actually an interface, but don't bother about it. So this is how it looks like. And so this thing is going up, and because of that, the crack is opening up. And if in this model there is no damage, so once you reach the damage criteria, these elements will fail and the crack tip will move and keep on moving until it separates the whole specimen. I hope it makes sense to you. So try to just model it with a very coarse mesh, because your laptops might not take that much amount of load. And try it. We'll meet on Friday. We'll discuss more. Any question? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So any question?
Sir, we will see. Like,
Okay. Yeah.
we have question, we will ask.
Okay. All right. So find some time for this. So have a look, try to model, and note down all the questions. We'll solve it on Friday. Okay. So then see you on Friday.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
And
sir.
as I said, on 29th, we will probably, but obviously in that week somewhere, we will have mid-semester Viva. So also you should get some time for that. Okay, all right then. See you on Friday. Bye.
Thank you, sir.